has supported. Yeah, I mean he's an interesting guy, man, because he's so friendly.
Right.
You know, like even like when people are trash talking, he's like smiling, and then gets in that ring.
Kick your ass later.
Different dude. Yeah.
You know, and it's,
Seeing him beat Keith Thurman at 40 years old, like, God, this guy's great. I mean, just look at his career with 8 different weight classes, world titles in 8 different weight classes. 40 years old, beats Keith Thurman, who's in his prime.
Right.
Crazy. I mean, what a man. Manny was the first. I mean, Manny went up 8 weight classes. Yeah. And kept his knockout power.
He's fighting as a little boy in the industry.
Crazy. Nobody saw
We're coming. Not now. Not like this. Boxing fans woke up to headlines that sounded like fiction. Manny Pacquiao, at 46 years old, was stepping back into the ring not for an exhibition, not for charity, but for a real sanctioned world title fight against Mario Barrios, young, sharp, and active, the WBC welterweight champion. And then came Joe Rogan, the voice of combat sports skepticism and all. His take wasn't polite, it wasn't sugar-coated, but it wasn't dismissive either.
Manny Pacquiao, in the middle of his prime, said, I'm going to fight MMA. That would be insane. And you'd probably get his face kicked off, probably get strangled, probably get taken down, strangled, and he would be helpless. It's a different skill set. There's so much more to MMA.
In a sport
where most legends fade into silence, Pacquiao returned like a thunderclap. For some it's insanity, for others, destiny. The fans aren't just watching for a fight, they're watching a resurrection or reckoning. Will the legend rise again or get crushed by the future? This isn't just another bout. It's a question whispered across gyms, podcasts, and press rooms. Can Manny Pacquiao still win, or will this be the night the dream finally dies? Manny Pacquiao's legacy doesn't need this.
I get he still loves the sport, but listen, you are an all-time great and legend of the sport, a Hall of Famer. Why return? Why don't we go pursue other things? If anything, do the little cheap expeditions fights that you did last year, or those that are similar to that of what Mayweather keeps doing.
8 division titles, 70 career bouts, a seat in the Hall of Fame already locked. And yet just weeks before his official induction into boxing immortality, he laces up the gloves again. Some say it's ego, others whisper desperation, but those who know Pacquiao say it's unfinished businesses. This isn't a farewell tour, it's a final war at 46. He's not just fighting Mario Barrios, his fighting time, gravity, and every critic who said he should have stayed in the past. And across the ring stands a man who doesn't fear legends. Mario Barrios, 28, fresh off a dominant win streak. Just crowned WBC welterweight champ after Terence Crawford vacated. He didn't ask for this matchup, but when the name Pacquiao came up, he didn't hesitate because for Barrios this isn't just a title defense, it's a shortcut to the history books. Beat Pacquiao, and you don't just keep the belt. My 19th isn't just a fight, it's a moment frozen in time. Boxing fans aren't just filling seats, they're crossing oceans. Filipino flags flood the Las Vegas Strip. Old posters from the De La Hoya and Hatton days are being dusted off. Mothers are bringing sons to witness something they once watched with their fathers. It's not a fight, it's a pilgrimage, and Pacquiao is not just returning, he's bringing his bloodline with him. Manny Pacquiao Jr., only 23, will make his professional debut on the same card as his father's final battle. It's more than symbolic, it's generational, one legend stepping out as another steps in. Pacquiao Jr., guided by Freddie Roach and Marvin Samudio, enters the pro ranks with a modest amateur record, but no one's watching for stats. They are watching to see if the fire passed down from father to son still burns hot. Some say it's too soon. Others say he was born for this, and while the Pacquiaos dominate headlines, the undercard delivers heat of its own. Sebastian Fondora versus Tim Tszyu. 2 promises chaos, a rematch laced with unfinished business. Their last bout left both men blooded and fans divided. Now with the cameras rolling again, they return to settle a score that still echoes through highlight reels, and then there's Isaac Pitbull Cruz, the relentless Mexican, rumored to face Angel Firo. Cruz doesn't dance. He charges, and in a sport starving for aggression, he's become the crowd's personal adrenaline shot, continuing to blow away from top to bottom. July 19th is built like a farewell concert with an opening act from the future, a father, a son, and a last shot at glory. It's boxing's most emotional card in years, and every name on it is fighting for more than a win. They are fighting for a place in the echo of something unforgettable. You don't get to be Manny Pacquiao without breaking biology. Most fighters in their mid-40s limp through training. Pacquiao explodes off the line. Shadow boxes with a tempo that rivals fighters half his age and still hits pads like a hummingbird with C4 in its fists. But there's a secret weapon. Rogan has pointed out for years General Santos.
Resistencia a Félix, el de rojo, y otra vez el gancho. Tiene que estar llaveando y también aprovechando. ¡Que opa! A la lona con la derecha en la zona de las costillas. La izquierda.
From top to bottom.
Even now in his 40s, Mario Barrios, Pacquiao's footwork tells a different story from his age. His recent training footage went viral not because he looked young, but because he looked dangerous. The bounce was still there, the speed, the burst off the line. But let's not lie to ourselves. Sparring mitts aren't fight night punches, and behind every explosive combo is a question the fans don't want to ask. Can those calves still carry the weight of war? Mario Barrios isn't flashy. He doesn't talk trash. He doesn't need to. His style is precise, controlled, and lethal in the way that creeps up on you. You blink, and you're behind on points. You swing, and he pivots out, makes you miss, makes you think he's not a knockout artist. He's a technician with power, and lately that combination has been working. At 28 years old, Barrios is in that sweet spot. Not too green, not too weathered, sharp enough to take risks, calm enough to know when not to. Music. Against Yugas, Pacquiao looked hesitant, rusty, and a step slow. Barrios, he doesn't bring hesitation. He brings volume, pressure, and youth, the kind of youth that doesn't second-guess itself in round 10. And while the cameras stay on Pacquiao, Barrios has been quietly preparing for the biggest moment of his life, and is treating it like business.
What's crazy about him is his calves.
Yeah.
When you look at that, they're giant. They're like a thigh.
And I know the reason why, because in General Santos, the mountains that he runs and that steep hill, that's why they're so big. Because he's always constantly running mountains. And I was on the mountain runs with him.
Yeah. Even now.
He doesn't want to just win. He wants to earn it by beating the legend clean. No controversy, no split decision. Because if Barrios walks out victorious, he's not just a guy who beat Manny. He's a guy who ended the myth. By the time the gloves are laced, most fights are already half won, not in the ring but in the mind. Manny Pacquiao in this one, it's mental warfare disguised as mutual respect. Manny Pacquiao has always been a quiet storm. No stay-downs, no trash talk, no threats on Instagram, just prayer, tape wraps and sweat at the final press conference. Barrios looked composed and calm on the outside, but behind his words, the pressure leaked out in flickers and clipped answers. Dry chuckles, slight hesitations is fighting a man whose name echoes louder than his own punches. That kind of energy follows you into the ring, and not always in your favor. Barrios isn't just facing Pacquiao, he's facing the weight of what beating him would mean. Pacquiao, meanwhile, walks through it all with a disarming peace. He doesn't blink. He doesn't posture because he's been here before more times than Barrios has fought professionally. He reads scripture in his locker room. He smiles at media day. He pats his opponents on the back with genuine warmth right before he tries to take their heads off. That paradox is what unnerves people. He's a man of God and also a man who made a living breaking jaws with blistering combinations. That inner stillness isn't weakness. It's danger wrapped in grace.
Going out there to Atlanta, fighting thing there. Everything, that played into that fight. It did bring a lot of attention, and I think it was a perfect fight big for that fight.
He doesn't want to just.
In the lead up to this fight, Barrios has said all the right things, but so did Keith Thurman and so did Miguel Cotto. What separates Pacquiao isn't just his punches, it's how he turns silence into a strategy, a calm so loud it drowns out everything else. Joe Rogan has followed Manny Pacquiao's career longer than most broadcasters. He's watched from the front row as Pacquiao steamrolled legends, jumped weight classes, and rewrote boxing physics. And now with this comeback, Rogan finds himself in a strained position, torn between admiration and realism. He said it before, Pacquiao's an anomaly, a miracle in gloves, but is also a 46-year-old man fighting in a young man's division. That's not just risky, it's historic.
Our career in boxing, not only because of our own ability, but because of your promotion of this boxing event. Thank you so much, media and press.
In the lead.
Rogan doesn't doubt the legend's will. What he questions, like many others, is the cost because while the headlines talk about Pacquiao's speed and footwork, Rogan sees something else. Mileage scar tissue that quiet erosion no slow-motion highlight reel ever shows. Still, he admits one thing with absolute certainty. Pacquiao brings fire even when logic says no. The crowd says yes.
If Manny Pacquiao, in the middle of his prime, said, "I'm going to fight MMA," that would be insane. And you'd probably get his face kicked off.
And that's Rogan's dilemma as a fight analyst. He sees the danger as a fan. He can't help but hope for one last miracle. What happens if Manny wins? Let's be honest, no one really wants to talk about it, because if Manny Pacquiao wins, the sport won't know what to do with itself. A 46-year-old beating a prime champion for a world title. That's not just a headline. At a detonation, the WBC would face a storm of questions. Does he unify? Does he retire? Or does he defend against someone younger, faster, hungry again? And what about the rankings of belts? The fighters who've waited years for a shot only to be leapfrogged by a living ghost.
He's the golden goose.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
That's something
crazy.
that you can't take
Kind of amazing. That he still guarantees that many eyeballs.
And
The fight would be over, but the chaos would just be beginning, because if Pacquiao wins, it doesn't just shift boxing. It shatters the rules of what's possible and forces a future to wait as a countdown to July 19 continues. The boxing world is abuzz with anticipation. Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring at 46 has reignited discussions about age, legacy, and the indomitable spirit of champions. In the heart of Hollywood, at the renowned Wild Card Boxing Club, Pacquiao's longtime trainer, Freddie Roach, observes his protege with a mix of admiration and concern. Their bond, forged over decades, is evident in every mid-session and strategic discussion.
The moment in the WBC, as you said, it's a shoe-in, it's a big moneymaker. It's utterly and totally wrong. I have nothing more to say about it. The fight.
Former opponents and boxing analysts are also weighing in. Timothy Bradley, who faced Pacquiao thrice in the ring, acknowledges a unique challenge Pacquiao presents. Even in his mid-40s, Bradley notes that while age may have slowed some fighters, Pacquiao's footwork and hand speed remain formidable.
Who right now, though, could he fight?
Yeah, I haven't let him choose anyone yet. But it's just his heart has. He wants one more fight, and then his wife calls me up and says, "Don't let him fight, don't let him fight." And I try to be on her side and so forth. But like when the man in the sport wants to fight, sometimes he's gonna fight. Yeah, I agree with you.
Beyond the boxing community, the Quick Feet Philippines are uniting in support of their national hero. In Manila and across the archipelago, plans are underway for communal viewing events. From barangay halls to church courtyards, large screens will broadcast the fight, turning neighborhoods into arenas of collective hope and pride. Airlines are reportedly adjusting flight schedules, and some are even offering in-flight viewing options to ensure passengers don't miss a moment of the action. Social media platforms are flooded with messages of encouragement, nostalgic highlights of Pacquiao's past victories, and discussions about the upcoming bout's implications. He's got to do something a little bit different to wisdom thus far. This fight transcends the usual narratives of title defenses and rankings. It's a testament to resilience, passion, and the unyielding pursuit of greatness. Whether Pacquiao secures victory or not, his return has already achieved something profound. It has reignited global interest in boxing and reminded fans why they fell in love with the sport in the first place. As the world watches, one thing is clear. Pacquiao's legacy is not just defined by his titles, but by his ability to inspire, unite, and defy expectations. On July 19th, the lights will dim in Las Vegas. The crowd will rise, the bell will ring, and the world will lean in, because this isn't just a main event. This is a time capsule in motion. Manny Pacquiao at 46 walks toward the ring not as a fighter chasing belts, but as a man chasing, meaning there will be cheers, there will be doubts, but for one night the boxing world will hold its breath and remember what greatness once looked like in real time. Barrios, young and sharp, won't be playing the villain. His now has earned that belt, but make no mistake, the crowd isn't coming to see the title defended. They're coming to see if history can be...
I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I was scared out of my mind.
Scared of what?
Of him. How hard does he punch? How fast is he? You see it on film, but it's different when you're in there actually fighting. It's just completely different. They were like bullets. They literally, like Manny Pacquiao, when he would throw, everything is just all just stiff, sharp punches, fast, quick feet. beyond.
Sports books favor Barrios. The scientists say no one at 46 should be doing this, but hearts don't run on data, and legacies don't die quietly. As Pacquiao steps between the ropes is not just stepping into another bout, is stepping into a closing chapter 1 last war written with everything he's got left at the hand still fire. And if the crowd still believes that final bell won't just mark the end of a round, it'll mark the final roar of it.
Cobbs. I don't know. I'm just worried for him. You make the biggest point on this discussion in this segment, which is health. Yeah, because Barrios is a killer.
The sports book.
Legends don't retire. They resonate and win or lose. On July 19th, Manny Pacquiao reminds the world why he was never just a boxer. He was a moment in time. Backstage, Pacquiao Jr. stands watching monitors, gloves on, head bowed. His father walks a tunnel, slow, steady, alone, ringside. A fan wipes tears, and another bows in silent prayer. In the commentary booth, broadcasters exchange glances, their voices hushed, acknowledging the gravity of the moment. I mean, just look at his career with 8 different weight classes. World titles in 8 different weight classes. 40 years old beats Keith Thurman. The arena holds its breath. The lights dim and the bell rings.